the 10 US states that will burn first in World War III. For most of human history, the United States has been invincible. Protected by two massive oceans, it was a fortress that no army could touch. But technology has killed geography. Today, the threat isn't coming from a boat, it's coming from the edge of space. Before we look at where the bombs will fall, we have to understand who is sending them. The list of nations that can successfully strike the American mainland is terrifyingly short. First, there is Russia. They possess the largest nuclear arsenal on Earth, with heavy ICBMs like the Sarmat that can reach any point in the US in under 30 minutes. Second is China. For decades, they had a small force, but they are rapidly building hundreds of new missile silos in their desert. They can now hit the East Coast, the West Coast, and everything in between. And then, the wild card, North Korea. Their Hwasong 15 and 17 missiles have theoretically demonstrated the range to hit Washington, D.C., though their accuracy is still debated. So, if the leaders in Moscow, Beijing, or Pyongyang decide to push the button, they aren't going to fire randomly at Times Square or Disney World. That is a Hollywood myth. Real war is about math. It's about crippling the enemy's ability to fight back. If Russia or China attacks, they will prioritize counterforce targets. They will try to destroy America's nukes before America can launch them. And unfortunately for the people living there, America keeps its biggest guns in 10 specific states. These are the 10 states that will be sacrificed to save the rest of the country. At number 1, it is North Dakota. North Dakota is the only state that holds the nuclear trifecta. 1. Minot Air Force Base. This is the only base in the US that houses both nuclear-capable B-52 bombers and Minuteman III missiles. 2. Radar systems. It sits on the northern edge, hosting the critical radars that track incoming fire. 3. Storage. Massive fuel and weapon depots. North Dakota is, quite literally, a powder keg. If you are a general in China or Russia, you look at North Dakota and you see the single biggest threat to your existence. If you destroy North Dakota, you destroy a huge chunk of America's ability to fight back by land and by air. It is a use-it-or-lose-it target. In a full-scale nuclear exchange, North Dakota would be hit with dozens, perhaps hundreds of warheads within the first 15 minutes of the war. The sheer amount of thermal energy released would turn the winter snow into steam instantly. The shock waves would flatten everything for hundreds of miles. The US government chose North Dakota to be the ultimate shield. It is the state most likely to burn so that the rest of America might survive. At number 2, we have the state that acts as the front door. It is Montana. Look at the map. If a missile flies from Russia to the US, it comes over the Arctic Circle. The first US state it crosses is Montana. Montana hosts the Malmstrom Air Force Base, which controls one of the largest missile fields in the world, 341st Missile Wing. Because Montana is geographically closer to Russia than the other missile states, the flight time for its missiles is shorter. This makes Montana the most aggressive threat. If the US president orders a strike, the missiles from Montana will hit Moscow first. Therefore, Russia must hit Montana first. There is no waiting. There is no negotiation. If the radar shows a war is starting, the first wave of enemy warheads will impact the Montana wilderness. The goal is to bury the silos under mountains of fire before the US can open the doors. The sacrifice risk here is catastrophic. And finally, the most dangerous place to be in the United States during World War III. At number 3, the sponge gets bigger. It is Wyoming. Wyoming is the least populated state in America, and that is exactly why the military loves it. It is the headquarters of F.E. Warren Air Force Base, which controls a massive web of missile silos spreading across 3 states. Wyoming is the heart of America's ICBM force. For an enemy planner, Wyoming is a math problem. There are 150+ silos managed here. To disable them, you need to saturate the state with nuclear fire. If a war starts, Wyoming ceases to exist as a habitable landmass. The ground bursts used to crack the hardened concrete silos will kick up millions of tons of radioactive dirt. This dirt is what experts call black rain. It will fall for weeks, poisoning the water, the soil, and the air. Wyoming is ranked higher than South Dakota because the concentration of command bunkers here is denser. It's not just a sponge, it's a command node for the apocalypse.